And they're all working hard, they're all trying to make it. They're all trying to be the best that they can be in whatever they're doing, whether that's physical performance or whether that's lifestyle, work. For physical, which is kind of what I'm going to talk about, most people will jump to try and find some sort of quick solution. And that's typically in the terms of supplements. Which are costly and who knows, what they're doing to you in the long run. You can't really tell which ones you can trust, all those things. And then what are the long-term effects of supplements? I don't really know. But if you're trying to be elite and you don't have time, you don't have energy, you don't have equipment, necessarily readily available, money's tight, you don't have trainers or coaches, how do you do it? Most people, I would tell you, won't look at nutrition. They won't focus on it. They won't do it because either they already think they eat well, and they already think that they know what good nutrition is and healthy eating is. And they may not know any better. And they may just not understand just how powerful fruits and vegetables are. And if you guys have ever had a conversation with Christy, she'll dive right into just how powerful fruits and vegetables are and what they can do for your body. And what I've seen is that they can truly change your performance levels. I'm not a power lifter. I'm not a CrossFit champion. I'm not an ultra runner. I'm not Hulk Hogan by any means. If you've ever seen me, I'm 5'8", 160 pounds. But I've taken on pretty much every challenge that the Army has offered me. And physically, I've always, I'm not bragging by any means, but I've always excelled. I've always come out on top. And initially, when I was younger, it was because I had my youth and I had some good mentors and coaches that helped me, with like when I did Best Ranger, we took 6th place, and it was because I had a good coach, and it was because I was young. It wasn't because I knew what I was doing. I certainly didn't know how to eat right. I didn't know how to train. I just was young and had a lot of energy. Since then, the last 8 years, I've had multiple injuries. I was in a really bad free fall accident that one of my guys came screaming into my knee head first with his Kevlar helmet during free fall, about 160 miles per hour, and messed up my knee pretty good. During SEER school, our survival school, I took some pretty good trauma to my right eye. And last year I had 6 eye surgeries, which pretty much put me out of physical training for almost the entire year. And what I noticed was that even though I'm 34, and I know you said you're 32, Chad, my recovery has been amazing, and that's because probably the last 2 years I've really focused on nutrition and making sure that that's part of my regimen in becoming, what I want to be with whatever I'm doing. What really, for the first SF course I did about 5 years ago, I learned a lot of things from Best Ranger. I started eating healthier, and I started training smarter, which was hugely beneficial. But during this last course that I went to, I took it a step further, and I listened to my wife, who threatened our marriage.
I did.
If I didn't follow her nutrition rules. And I learned that she was right on.
What was that?
That's what I was waiting for. That she was right on. She just gets it, she understands the power of nutrition, and she has really sold that to me. And I've seen it in my performance and in my recovery, especially from those eye surgeries. When I would go back and see the doctor, they were really invasive surgeries. And if you have a weak stomach, I won't go into too much detail, but my eyes looked like vampire eyes because they were cutting muscles away and reattaching them, 5 different muscles around both my eyes. And he just couldn't believe how fast I was recovering and how fast I was healing. It was unheard of to him. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Because, are you not working out? Are you just sleeping a lot? Or what are you doing? Because you are really healing faster than what I would have expected. He's like, you're almost healing too fast to where it's causing problems because of the healing process is so fast. And so, I'm a big believer in the power of nutrition, and Juice Plus has been a big part of that. During this last course that I went to, I continued to kind of perform in the top 5 physically throughout the course. Guys throughout the course were taking all sorts of supplements and stuff, and it was a huge time drain. We were going about 15 to 16 hours a day, and most guys by the end of the day were smoked. I came home and I still had pretty good energy, going throughout pretty much the whole day. I was able to fuel on the move with some of the products that they have, the Juice Plus Complete. I was able to use that throughout the day as an additional fuel source. And I knew that I was getting something that was healthy for me. And it was just food. It wasn't some sort of supplement that had crap in it that I had no idea what it was, I've noticed improved focus. I've noticed I've been able to stay awake in classes, which I never did before. My college days weren't the most impressive times of my life. So mainly because I would fall asleep like this in class and pretend I was awake by flipping my pen around. But I've noticed that I've had huge energy increases from it. So what I would challenge you guys is take a hard look at your nutrition, if nothing else. Take a hard look at the power of fruits and vegetables and what they can do for you. They're going to give you more energy. They're going to aid in your recovery. You're going to have less muscle soreness. I guarantee it. It's amazing. That's probably the biggest thing I've noticed is muscle soreness and joint soreness has virtually disappeared for me. Just imagine how it can help you with anything in your life, whether it's getting out of bed in the morning and going to work and just having the energy to make it through the workday, like with good focus, or training for your next marathon or your next triathlon or whatever you like to do physically, or to be active at the ski slopes and maintain that level of physical ability. I don't know, whatever your passion is and your hobby, just imagine what it can do for you. And I would argue it can do a lot. The nice thing about Juice Plus, and Christy would tell you way better than I can, but like pro athletes and collegiate athletes and Olympic athletes all trust it because it has the NSF brand, which means that what's in it, what they say is in it, nothing more, nothing less, and that it does no harm. It does good things when it enters your bloodstream and enters your body. And Greg's going to go into more detail about like what it's done for his body in terms of his blood work and all that type of stuff. So, but for me, I've got the results that I can take home, and that's why, I'm going to be on Juice Plus for life. We decided that a couple of years ago, which is why Christy really joined the business and is sharing it with so many people. But the other thing is, if you don't believe in testimonials and stories like mine, like they've got more research than any other nutritional product on the market. They've got 33 plus research documents that are gold standard, double blind, peer reviewed, like medical gold standard for research. So with that, get your nutrition right. T30, Transform 30, and hopefully Christy's mentioned it, like talk to you about what it is before this, and if not, I'm sure she will at the end. But it can help you get your nutrition right if you don't have it already. And once you start, you'll see why Christy and I have made the decision to just like A, focus on nutrition for our lives, and B, use Juice Plus to help us stay there. Greg, pass over to you. You can talk, and I'll laugh at you. They're laughing at me.
That will not be the.
I don't do this professionally. Christy was like, "Hey, talk to some people." I'm like, "Hey, okay."
No, thanks, brother. Now, I'm going to talk about fueling uh, an elite lifestyle. And so, if you don't know, so like pretty much, Patton is at the top of the food chain. I'm the guy who's doing everything half as well, but doing everything. So like I do everything from skydiving, biking, extreme sports, scuba diving. I mean, you name it. I've got a hobby, and I probably have got the gear in the garage. Just don't tell my wife, please. So to include parenting, extreme parenting, which with a 4 and a 6-year-old, I mean, for those of you out there with kids on the way, it is absolutely extreme parenting. We live a active, super active lifestyle. We take our kids everywhere. We lived in Europe, and we started over there, and we absolutely love the product. But a couple things I'll mention real quick. So where I started from, so how I got into it, biggest skeptic you've ever met in your life. Christy kept selling this bag of goods, and I was like, get this hippie away from me. Love her to death still. So, but so she started, kept talking about it, and I was like, okay, Patton's on this kick. All right, I know Patton, he's as big a skeptic as anybody. So let's talk to him. So what I did was I started the product, didn't change anything, living in Kansas City at the time when I fully went into Transform 30 and fully started doing the gummies. I was eating barbecue every day. I was like working out, doing CrossFit, just did not care. It was just, crushing PT the best I could and not really getting any gains because I was just not fueling my elite lifestyle, even though I was trying to, lead and still live this elite lifestyle, which I wasn't going to stop. So long story short, did all the blood tests prior to starting the product, did it for 90 days, took blood tests after. And the only thing I had changed was started taking the gummies and some of the capsules that we switched halfway through and some of the complete, and just absolutely saw my bad cholesterol drop, my good cholesterol increase. My blood pressure dropped 10 points. I mean, I was still working out, still doing good. It was in decent shape, but just by changing the product and eating real food and not supplements, I stopped taking all, Explode. I started taking BS10 products, everything you can buy everything you buy in a store. I was like, yeah, man, I'm taking Synthesix. I'm taking this high quality, synthetic stuff that was just giving my body just fits until I got off of it, got on. That's the only thing I changed. I stopped taking the over-the-counter products and started taking Juice Plus. And in 90 days, my blood work literally changed, literally dropped 10 points on my blood pressure, which for me, my father passed away and I was about 12 from high blood pressure, high cholesterol issues. So I was always kind of worried, like, hey, am I going to be the dad who's 45 as well and have heart issues? And so I was trying to PT hard, but that really was a catalyst. Like, okay, something's working here. So, and it took about a good 6 months on the product. So I realized, the wife was like, man, like you're eating tomatoes in a salad. What are you doing? I had never in my life liked tomatoes other than marinara sauce. And if I had like some cheese sticks with them. So, I mean, it was pretty miraculous even for me. And I'm sitting there like, wow, my taste buds had changed. It was bridging the gap for my diet and for me getting and able to close when I'm not eating my recommended servings of fruits and veggies. And it was really good. It was amazing. That's my little story. That's my proof in the pudding. And then talking on to just the lifestyle change. So, I'm down here at the 101st Airborne Division. Yeah, it's an elite unit and I love it. I'm in a battalion of 3. I'm in the office 10 hours a day. I get to work out an hour and a half a day and I try to go do something at lunch if I can get away. I'm down here with a bunch of young soldiers who are 18, 19 years old, live the video lifestyle, trying to compete, and somehow I'm still able to keep up with these young individuals. And it is a lot what Pat was talking about was recovery in the refractory period of being able to eating the right quantities of food, eating the right types of food, fueling my body, allowing it to heal, allowing it to maintain naturally. But what I'm constantly seeing, we have tons of nutritionists on staff down here, is a constant young kids who are on over-the-counter supplements, okay? Juice Plus supplements your diet with real whole foods. That is the number one thing I can say. It's natural whole food. So you're supplementing your diet with that. It is not a supplement. It's not a synthetic supplement. And it's just absolutely, it helps bridge that gap. But what I'm constantly seeing is that, we've got 550 people in my battalion and we're constantly have young soldiers on these supplements that are having issues by blocking out. And what I mean by that is consistently with the guys in the group and some of the elite athletes out there, is your body is trying to feed itself, but it has nothing but just bad chemicals in it. It's not able to process your body's not able to process the carbs and the fuel in it fast enough to feed you. So to feed you efficiently to continue whatever exercise or strenuous activity you're doing, even if you're going into like a repair cycle, like sleeping. So some of the things I hear that we're seeing, like a lot of energy drinks. So talking with like Elite Lifestyle. So some of the things I'm constantly trying to do, and Pat is taught me how to do through Juice Plus and just eating properly whole foods. And so I'm continuously feeding my body for the effect I want to get. So, it's very easy. I was just actually reading Outside Magazine this last week. Americans are, I love this phrase that Christy continues to say, and I'm probably going to mess this up, so jump in here. We're the most overfed people and undernourished people on the planet is Americans. It's just the way it is. And I am definitely following thing. I am not like some super thin athlete. I am 6'2", 235, 240, depending upon the day of the week and how much water I'm drinking. I am a big guy. And so I'm constantly trying to keep up with young guys. I am constantly trying to fuel my body the best I can to get the performance that I went to. Last week, just did a 100-kilometer bike race on Saturday, gave myself a good rest day on Sunday, slept like a rock. The product, I think, helps me do that, no problem. Woke up Monday, ran 6 miles. I mean, I'm not a fast guy. I'm not like a Patton, but I'm able to hold and maintain and be able to repair my body every night, every day as I'm eating healthier and healthier. And don't get me wrong, I'm by no means, and Chrissy's gonna laugh here, I'm no means vegan, no means vegetarian, love meat, still eat my protein in, but it helps me bridge that gap so I can still live the active lifestyle. So I'm kind of looking at some notes here. I mean, so the thing I'd like to say too is that, I mean, it has just been awesome for my family to be on Juice Plus. My kids are on it. They're constantly asking for fruits and veggies. My son is constantly wanting to eat, yellow peppers, which I'm just like, this kid is crazy. What is going on? Other kids are asking for sugar. I mean, for about the first 9 months to a year, we were really on it. We didn't really give our kids much sugar. And so when they started, like, we were like, hey, it's your birthday, here, have some cake. I mean, our kids did not like the taste of sugar. They still really don't. And it's just amazing to see what Juice Plus does for my kids, but also how that lifestyle change that we're trying to lead. You're making me laugh, Pat. So the lifestyle we're trying to change here, it's not a diet. It truly becomes a lifestyle. And Juice Plus is that bridge. Juice Plus for us was that starting point to ramp us into healthier living, longer living, and productive, a little more productive lifestyle. We are constantly on the go. We're not going to stop. I'm not going to stop eating the steak occasionally, but I've got to have something that's going to gap it. And that's where Juice Plus comes in. I'd love to take some questions from everybody out there. Went about like 8 minutes or so. So I'm doing good. Yes.
I don't know if you guys could hear Greg. It sounded like he cut out a little bit, but here in a
just
second.
love the product. Go ahead. What's that?
You cut out there at the end, but I think
sorry, brother.
What you're saying about just asking some, like, see if anybody has any questions or whatever. But bottom line, one thing I'm going to just mention, because Greg brought it up, is he still eats meat and stuff. I do too, but I tell you, I don't eat as much meat as I used to. I eat way more fruits and vegetables than I used to. And the reason is because I see a huge deterioration in my performance when I do eat meat in excess. I still eat a little bit because I enjoy it, but I don't eat as much as I used to. I eat a lot more fruits and vegetables than I used to. I like fruits and vegetables a lot more than I used to. And I know Greg's seen that his kids like fruits and vegetables a lot more than they used to, because they wouldn't eat it at all before. Right.
Hey, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing is pretty amazing. Chris introduced us to this Transform 30 thing, and I was like, okay, what's kind of this? I'm already on Juice Plus. What else can there be out there? So we did it, and I've noticed in talking with Pat, and I was like, this is really blowing my mind. After about a good 30 days on it, went back and had just had like some barbecue or something, kind of went back to a little bit more gluten, went back on the dairy, a little more heavy than I was during the T30 process. And I could just absolutely feel this drop in energy. And that's one thing I really, really would love to see people. And I've had my mom do it. I really want to test people and really see, hey, try something for 30 days, try it for 90 days, and then just try to go back to how you were eating in your old lifestyle. And you will absolutely feel, just feel a drop in energy. And it absolutely blew my mind when I could feel the drop. Went to a really tough school like last year. Before I was ramping up with Patton's advice, was really eating healthy, was eating super clean, got to this school and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go crush it. And a big fat meal. I think we went down to like, I don't know, just some burger joint. And within a day, I was like, holy cow, what just happened? I ate processed red meat. I had a bunch of gluten. I had a bunch of stuff that I had not had in over about 45 to 50 days. And I immediately, within 2 days, felt the effects. I was just groggy the next day. It felt like it felt like I had a hangover from food. And that's exactly how my body felt. So, and getting back into it, you kind of do those ups and downs that can really, it's amazing what happens when you start eating clean. And I'll leave with that.
We got 10 minutes left. So hit us with what you got. You guys, if you have any questions or any feedback, comments, whatever, walk away with this knowing that fruits and vegetables are important, and what goes in your body, like I know they talk about with weight loss, it's like calories in, to lose weight, you have to burn more calories than you take in. But I would argue it's not the calories that you take in, it's the quality of the calories that you take in that really makes the difference. Especially with in terms of weight loss and building lean mass. So shoot back over to you guys for any questions. There's got to be something out there. Don't make us feel stupid for sitting here and talking.
Hey, I've got one here if anyone else is on.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, what about, has there been any talk with Juice Plus intermingling with some of these, operators, such as getting onto the bases? I see here just in this little foursome square, there's, two pretty elite guys, and I'd like to consider myself a pretty elite guy, but, what's the talk of getting into a corporation like that, or getting into talk to some of these young troops like Greg was talking about, getting away from that bad food and intermingling this whole food and interaction with that? So
I know you're pretty familiar with the organization I'm in, Chad, and nutrition is huge there. In fact, when we first started, they gave us like a whole week of nutrition classes. That was the first thing they did before we even started our course. I see somebody holding up gummies. I like it.
Yeah, Vineyard.
But yeah, man, they go into pretty extensive detail on nutrition, and they're big into they're big into eating a lot more fruits and vegetables and stuff. It's a big part of it, which unfortunately is one of the things that helped sell it for me. Even though my beautiful wife has been telling me for a long time, it's sort of like that third-party validation from people that you know and respect. And so that kind of helped bring it home for me to some degree as well. Now, as far as Juice Plus, it's interesting because I went and talked to the nutritionist about Juice Plus, and I showed it to him and showed him what I was using or whatever. And his feedback to me was, yeah, man, that's awesome. Everything that's in it is awesome. Where do you get this from? When I went in and I did, so we've got this body scan machine. We call it the fat boy.
Oh yeah.
Pronouncer or something. I don't know what they call it, but my body fat was pretty funny. I thought I was pretty lean, and they're like, yeah, you're about 7% body fat higher than we want you to be. And I was like, holy crap. So that was right when I started, and I focused on my nutrition for the next, really it was about 3 weeks. I went in and got tested again. And what's interesting, the the guy that was there that did my second test was like, hey, he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, is there something wrong? Am I heavier? Like, do I have more like body fat than I did before? Like, great. This is awesome. He's like, well, he's like, normally what we see is if guys put on lean mass, you know, if guys' lean mass goes from here to here, then what we see is guys' body fat typically either stays the same or drops just a little. He's like, what you did is put lean mass on from here to here, and your body fat went from here down to here. It was almost like this exact X that showed, you know, linearly that I put on as much lean mass as I took off body fat. And I had done T30 for 3 weeks. Like, that was what I did. He's like, whatever you're doing, man, keep doing it. I was like, well, my wife's got me on this program. He's like, your wife is fucking on it. You know, so,
and there's a child with a, geez, sorry.
Your wife is,
He's heard worse.
awesome. So anyway, they are, it's a big part of what we do in that organization. SF is really kind of jumping to it too. And really conventional armies even starting to lean towards nutrition and stuff. You're starting to see more, you know, like placards and stuff in the dining facilities for us. I don't know how the Navy's doing it, but it's becoming a big thing. Yeah. And that's what they talk about. It's like, okay, well, you got all these factors that lead to elite performance, you know, nutrition's a big one. I saw a question down here.
Yep.
Was it? Can't.
The one with the gummies, with the kid, Maria, but.
Oh, hi. I was just going to make a comment. I've been taking the product now for about how long? About 9 months, 10 months? About 6 months. I just got back from downrange, and being downrange, of course, a lot of you guys on here are from military. We didn't have a lot of the nutritional food that we needed. And just from the first month after receiving the product and everything from my wife, she became a spokesman or whatever and started selling it. She sent it to me. And everybody that I was working with, they could see the improvement, and they were just blown away by it just from me walking around. And I haven't been sick. I used to get sick like once every 2 months or so, and I consider myself kind of above standard for most people anyway. But after taking this product, it really set me over the top. I so much more energy, being able to just get up in the mornings and hit the day running, and being in Iraq. Of course, like I say, we had the UGRs or URG. I forget what they're called, but it's like the meals ready to eat. So there's no nutritional value in those whatsoever. So just by receiving that in and being able to take those gummies and eat the nutritional, the granola bars and having my shake a day, it really improved my life while I was over there. So this is a great product.
That is why I try to tell everyone I need more messengers in this. Like, our military gives up so much. And the MREs, like he just said, like, there's no nutritional value, and our soldiers need that. So Chad, like, I don't have an answer that's completely like, yes, we're getting it in there. It's the messengers. It's the people that join our mission to do this.
But I will tell you this, Chad. Christy and I have talked about like reaching out to some acquisition folks we know and maybe trying to work with them to see what we can do to at least start to try and get into the special ops community, and maybe, you know, further down the road. We talked about like MREs and stuff. The problem is like it doesn't have, you know, like the gummies don't have
A
shelf life because they don't use any preservatives. So
yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see, man. But at least the military's taking an interest in nutrition now, so that's good. Who else has some questions?
We have a minute. If you guys want to, if anyone wants to stay on and ask questions, I'm going to end this right now. If you click back on that same link, it'll bring us in. But if it runs out, none of us can get back on. So I say thank you to all of you who don't want to talk to us anymore. But if you want to hop back on and ask any more questions or share in some discussion, we'll hop back on right
So
now.
you're just going to restart it?
Yeah.
Okay.